Emmanuel.
Thank you, Mr. President, for organizing this meeting. And I would like to begin by clarifying a situation that happened not so long ago, where my wife, Brigitte, slapped me like a French little bitch inside the plane. As a couple, we have our problems. See, we started dating when she was 39 years old. I was only 13 at the time. I didn't have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And when I met Jean-Michel, he was a sweet man. I mean, woman. I mean, Brigitte. When I met Brigitte, can we edit that last part? I just wanted to say she's strong-willed, and that's why she slapped me like little bitch. Thank you.
For a long time. I used to say, before doing what I did, I used to say, what happened? Why aren't we moving forward? Today's announcement sends a clear signal to the world that we are restoring America's proud legacy of leadership in space. At some point in the future, we're going to look back and say, how did we do it without space? The Vice President will serve as the Council's chair. The privatization of certain aspects is going to play a very crucial role, don't you think? They are truly into it. I will say that's not easy because everybody wants to be on this board. People that you wouldn't have believed loved what we're doing so much. They want to be some of the most successful people in the world want to be on this board. The human soul yearns for discovery. By unlocking the mysteries of the universe, we unlock truths within ourselves. That's true. Our journey into space will not only make us stronger and more prosperous, but will unite us behind grand ambitions and bring us all closer together. Wouldn't that be nice? Can you believe that space is going to do that? I thought politics would do that. Well, we'll have to rely on space instead. Every launch into the skies is another step forward toward a future where our differences seem small.
Hi, my loves. Okay, so today is August 14th. Michelle Kirby, 625 is my only account. If anybody reaches out to you in your DMs and says that they are me, it's not me. Let's get into it. NVIDIA. This is from 2024, by the way. They have a new chip. And guess what it utilizes and connects to? The XRP ledger, and it utilizes XRP. Do you guys have any idea? Do you have any idea what we are currently looking at? I hope that you do the same thing that I did earlier. I gave myself a hug, and I'm like, girl, you are so smart. You are so smart. I'm proud of you. You are so smart. I'm proud of you. Let's keep the train going. And honestly, you guys, oh my gosh. Everybody's like, you got to invest in AI, right? If you own XRP, you are investing in AI. The future is coming, whether anybody wills it or not. So I love you. Okay, you guys, I'm going to just binge overwhelm you with information today. I want you to look up BIS, cross-border payments, and cross-border loans. December of 2024, these guys started making policy changes, not only for cross-border payments, but also for cross-border loans. They got tired of the exchange rates being included when they were making transactions. Now, BIS, all signs seem to point to Ripple. One of the banks that they wanted to utilize for the initial testing was the Bank of France. The Bank of France just finished XRP testing on RippleNet. That was a couple months ago. In addition, with regards to NVIDIA, guess who? Guess who put in a $500 million investment into the chips that now have access to XRP Ledger and XRP? That would be Ripple. A Ripple co-founder invested $500 million into that. You guys, all signs pointing to Ripple. We are investing in AI technology. We didn't even realize it. And then in addition, cross-border loans. We talk a lot about cross-border payments. They're taking over DeFi. Buckle up. Stop looking at the price. Also, the Ripple Bank, it looks like they are saying that that is going to be approved November 29th. We watch and we wait. Okay, you guys, I want you, like, this is the way my brain works. We've got cross-border loans. Loans are provided by banks. Who's going to be a bank? Ripple is. Now, USDC, their Circle is coming out and saying, well, we're going to have this ARC system. It still needs to be built out. Ripple already has an active bank on RippleNet. In USDC, from what I can see, the on-demand liquidity is going to come from XRP itself. So, we watch and we wait. USDC, what they use is their stable coin, one-to-one, with dollar liquidity. Nobody wants that. They want real-world asset-backed cryptocurrencies, like XRP, XLM, and HBAR. You guys, the puzzle is coming together so quickly. We are about to see the full picture, and I would not be surprised at all if one of the signed NDAs, the partnerships that Ripple has a signed NDA on, is with NVIDIA. And that is the top boom, boom, boom stock and company currently. It's going to be a good time. I love you.
All this and addressing these various regulations is to provide some certainty for people, because for too long now there was a lot of guesswork and there was a very, I would say, a hostile environment as far as people trying to innovate. Lawyers couldn't give their clients opinions as to what was legal or not, and the SEC and other agencies sent very shifting views as to what was undergirding their view towards crypto assets. And so we are changing that, and so our goal is to give clarity and certainty. It will be undergirded by whatever comes out of Congress, but I believe that we have authority to move forward in these areas and provide that certainty and clarity for people.
Interesting looking gentleman with Trump. I'll just throw this on the table. Galactic bodyguards.
Is Gavin Newsom allowing Chinese investors to purchase Palisades fire properties? Forwarded by mtruth61 on Telegram. I'm busy counting my currency one last time, and I hope you are too. About to get that bag. Posted by TNT Tony on X.
Santa surfing on X. What happened to the Federal Reserve on Google Maps? It says it's permanently closed. VK posted, the meeting with Trump and Putin was financial. On Google Maps, it reads, Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve permanently closed. Posted by Santa Surfing on X at 3:02 a.m. August 17, 2025. Second attempt to post this, Santa Smoke Signal. President Trump signs a proclamation commemorating the 90th anniversary of the Social Security Act. Posted by the White House. Alert! Just in! Paul Atkins says the SEC will work with Trump admin to allow retail investors to access private equity. This will give retails a shot at early-stage crypto projects and private token sales. Posted by Coin Bureau on X.
Which is really just more documentation in this case. Does Congress need to do this, or can the FBI do it themselves?
No, look, Kash Patel has called upon Congress to release them, but there's nothing that precludes the Department of Justice, now that the documents have been declassified, and I'm sure there's some redactions in there, the Department of Justice can release this tomorrow if they really wanted to. I think it's a courtesy, though, to a Chairman Grassley, a Chairman Jordan, those types of people who are trying to put together a bigger, broader case. But, yeah, they should release those documents. There should be a hearing where you bring these people in and they can make the case and force these people to answer questions under oath. And as it relates to Adam Schiff, I tell you, it's the first time I felt like he really is in trouble, not only on the mortgage front, but when you have a staffer, a Democratic staffer, allegedly, the story is that he has told investigators that he was directed to release classified information. You got to prosecute somebody like that.
Right.
As a member of Congress, you have a very high security clearance, but you still sign a document. You still sign an extra document. I think they should pull that out, put that out in the air for the American people. Every member of Congress signs it, says he won't release that information. And if he did, and he did it purposefully, and he was using federal employees to do so, you got to prosecute the guy.
Yeah, because it comes down to a double standard, Kevin. I mean,
100%.
There have been members of the military who mistakenly shared classified information, not deliberately, who have served prison time for doing that. And yet there's people like Adam Schiff who tend to get away with it. But the thing that jumps out at me is, you know, Schiff was allegedly leaking classified information, but the information that was classified was really just classified to cover up what the Clinton campaign was doing with the Intelligence Committee. So it shouldn't have been classified in the first place. It's like when they redact things about furniture because they don't want to be embarrassed. I mean, much worse than that. But this information should have been classified in the first place, it seems.
And this is the real issue that happens a lot in Washington. Jason, you can speak to this sometimes in an overabundance of caution. You can have basically black Sharpie all throughout a document. But the truth is, some of this, and I dare argue a lot of this, need not be redacted. And let's be honest about what we've seen here. We've seen congressional lawmakers possibly involved in a grand conspiracy to utilize material that they knew to be false or misleading to undermine a sitting president of the United States of America, to circumvent the will of the American people. This is not a small matter, and I think whether it's Adam Schiff, whether it's James Comey and others, Clapper, we can run down the list, I think justice must be served to prevent this from ever happening again.
Anita, I think there's a lot of Americans watching and saying, okay, there is new information here, but why is Congress looking at this? What are the next steps here for what the American people can expect for information from their lawmakers?
Yeah, well, we talked about this last night. You know, it's so interesting that after 8 years, the story is finally moving forward. Finally, documents are coming to light. Investigations will soon be underway about how this whole Russian collusion narrative came to light and how it did truly undermine the presidency of Donald Trump. And it really, and we talked about this last night, how it affected his relationship with Putin and other world leaders. It also brought down the careers of people like Michael Flynn and others. And now the big question will be, you know, will there be consequences for the people that you mentioned that are possibly involved here, including Hillary Clinton?
Yeah, and Jason, we have elections every 4 years. So the big overriding thing here is this problem solved? Is the deep state still going to work with Democratic operatives to essentially try and rig an election with this false narrative in an official intelligence document that was then used to, you know, to torpedo the first 4 years of the Trump administration, which led to impeachments and special counsels and all of that? I mean, there are big questions about whether this ideology has been rooted out of these places.
No, if you think the deep state is done trying to go after Donald Trump or Republicans and conservatives, I got another thing coming.
Exactly.
The reality is, the allegation is that the Clinton campaign set aside $10 million. They gave it, they put it over, they created this fake dossier, which was the precursor that led to all these articles in the newspaper. But more importantly, and this one still just sticks under my craw, is this idea that they use this as the predicate to do what they shouldn't have done, which is spy on the on the Trump campaign and others related to him to go to the court, testify in writing that you have verified information, that you could go after these people because you have seen these documents, and I'm talking about James Comey and others, and you go to the court and get the court to allow you to spy on somebody, doesn't get any worse than that. Don't tell me that, oh, that happened a long time ago and, oh, that's already been exposed. You got to prosecute people who do those types of things. That court, and where's the court?
Yeah.
Where is the court?
Exactly.
You lie to the court in another setting? Do you think they would ever hold you in contempt? Where is the Supreme Court on this? And they oversee the FISA court.
You're right, and we have to reform the FISA court. This is something that can never happen again. I'm so glad you pointed that out. A lot of people are, oh, it's in the past, like you said, oh, it's 8 years ago. But the truth is, let justice be served, one way or the other, though the heavens fall. We've got to get to the bottom of this, and people have to pay.
I've got to add a little bit of color to this. I was on the House Judiciary Committee. I'm not an attorney, and I know that sounds like I'm bragging, but I said to my chairman, I want to go to the FISA court because I want to see it. And then they admitted it's not really a court. What they do is they take this document, they give it to a federal judge who sits in a skiff by himself, and there's nobody else there, and they just read these documents. So if you're not 100% certain on those documents, guess what? You have lied to the court. You have deceived the American people. You have undermined justice, and that's why you have to be held accountable. And you can't just get away with it and say, well, you know, I based it on intelligence. I mean, it's just gibberish.
Yeah.
You either lied or you didn't lie. And I'm sorry, but it looks like they lied.
Yes, it does.
And to your point, Anita,
real quick, if these things bear out, right, if these things come to light and they bear out, this makes Watergate look like small potatoes.
Absolutely.
It really does.
well, they ruin people's lives, as you mentioned. So.
Remember my pinned post. On March 25, 2025, Trump signed the executive order to upgrade the U.S. Treasury payment rail system, moving from the antiquated Federal Reserve model into blockchain-based rails. The Treasury is taking back control. On September 30, 2025. They already audited the Fed. Headlines are surfacing, even in mock future news, about marshals raiding Federal Reserve vaults for USA's looted gold. Google itself is reflecting the closure of the system in real time. For those still saying nothing is happening, understand this. You're watching it unfold right in front of your eyes. The system that's been private since 1913 is being dismantled. This is biblical, spiritual, generational. Those aligned have seen it coming. Those distracted will say, I didn't see it. But the U.S. debt clock timeline never lied. We are witnessing the transition to a new system, one rooted in blockchain rails, real assets, and transparency, bigger than anyone can imagine. Congratulations to those who paid attention. Everything happens this year. Not confirmed who wrote this, however, this was forwarded from RVHIGHLIGHTS on Telegram. From 2023 to 2025, the burn rate of XRP is 0.00012 XRP per transaction, 200 to 400 XRP per day. This means 73,000 to 146,000 XRP are permanently removed each year, meaning XRP can't stay at $3 forever. It can only go higher from here. Posted by BD on X.
Breaking. Deputy Speaker of the Iraqi Council of Representatives, Shakawan Abdullah, has announced the long-standing dispute over oil between Baghdad and Erbil has been resolved, with an agreement also reached on non-oil revenues. He confirmed that the salaries of Kurdistan region civil servants for June and July will be paid in full, stressing that no salary will be lost, and added that with the resumption of oil exports, regular salary disbursements will follow. 10:06 a.m., 17 August 2025. Forwarded from RVHIGHLIGHTS on Telegram. 964. The governor of the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, Ali al-Alaq, confirmed on Monday that the banking reform plan, which was prepared in coordination with banks and international entities over more than a year, aims to put the Iraqi banking sector within international standards and practices to ensure its internal stability and external acceptance. He pointed out that the introduction of a foreign partner in Iraqi banks is not a condition within the plan as rumored, and that priority will be for Iraqi financial institutions and individuals with the possibility of the, and it stops here.
A new strategic step enhancing Iraq's financial standing globally, Raiffeisen Bank signs in Washington a professional partnership agreement with ATKINS Integrity of the United States, a world leader in financial and regulatory consulting, pursuant to Iraqi Cabinet Resolution number 23274 of 2023. The agreement was signed at Iraq in USA in an official setting that reflects the growing international confidence in the financial and banking reforms implemented by the Iraqi government. This partnership represents a qualitative leap in the course of banking reform, strengthening international confidence in Iraqi banks and opening wider horizons for cooperation with correspondent banks around the world. Under the agreement, K2 Integrity will provide high-level services that include combating money laundering and terrorism financing, implementing compliance systems in line with international standards, and enhancing the regulatory infrastructure of Iraqi banks. This step is part of the government's approach to building a strong and transparent financial sector, keeping pace with global economic transformations, and reinforcing Iraq's position as a promising financial hub in the region. The Iraq in USA also looks forward to strengthening partnerships and advancing economic diplomacy with partners in the United States. Posted by Iraq in USA on X.
I cropped out the 100, the 10, and the 25 dinar notes and posted them to Grok. I asked Grok to confirm that they were the new lower denomination Iraqi dinar. Grok said he could only see the 100 dinar clearly and that it is pre-2003. Posted by Sock Puppet on Telegram.
Inflation and currency status. As of Q1 2025, Iraq's inflation rate is reported at 2.2%, indicating significant improvement in price stability. The Iraqi dinar, IQD, is still fixed by the Central Bank of Iraq and does not trade freely on global forex markets. Recent official exchange rates are around 1,310 to 1,320 IQD per USD, with slight projections toward an increase over the coming years, approximately 1,318 by the end of 2025 and 1,329 by 2026. About rumors of revaluation or zero deletion. In February 2023, Iraq's cabinet approved a revaluation, adjusting the official exchange rate to about 1,300 IQD per USD. This was a policy adjustment, not speculation-based. It's already happened. Currently, there's discussion of redenomination, a plan to remove zeros from the currency, not increasing its value per se, but simplifying its denominations. This would be more symbolic and logistical, not true value revaluation. Is a major revaluation likely? Experts caution that a major revaluation, that is, huge increase in value, is unlikely unless Iraq achieves significant political stability, economic reform, and banking modernization. Speculative investment talk around a dramatic revaluation has been flagged repeatedly as highly speculative and risky. Voices from investment and consumer forums recommend skepticism. Many of these revaluation stories are part of long-standing scams. Source: Reddit. Summary table. Topic: Current status. Inflation: low and stable, approximately 2.2%. Exchange rate: fixed, approximately 1,310 to 1,320 IQD per USD. Revaluation: 2023 rate adjustment completed. Redenomination: under consideration, technical, zero deletion. Major revaluation: not likely without deep reform. Speculative claims: high risk, often associated with scams. Final thoughts. Iraq has improved stability and considered redenomination to simplify its currency, but there's no credible sign of a dramatic revaluation that would multiply the dinar's worth. Claims otherwise often stem from speculation or scam narratives. Short answer: an election in November doesn't, by itself, make a dinar revaluation more likely. Here's why, and what is worth watching. Election timing. Iraq's parliamentary vote is officially set for 11 November 2025. That's confirmed by government and press reports this spring. Source: Reuters and the New Arab. Who controls the exchange rate? Iraq runs a conventional peg, and by law, the Central Bank of Iraq, or CBI, board sets exchange rate policy, not the cabinet or the PM. The IMF's latest Article 4 report spells this out and notes the official weight set after the 2023 adjustment. IMF. What did change recently? In Feb 2023, the government approved a one-time rate adjustment to approximately 1,300 IQD per USD. That happened, and it's already in place. Source: Reuters. Policy focus now. Current efforts center on tightening dollar flows, AML-CFT compliance, and shrinking the gap with the parallel market. Technical banking steps rather than headline revaluations. Reuters +1. Inflation backdrop. Inflation is low by regional standards. The IMF projects approximately 2.5% for 2025, which is supportive for stability, but it doesn't imply a large revaluation. IMF. So, will the election push a revaluation? Politically, governments sometimes like pre-election wins, but a meaningful revaluation would be a monetary policy decision by the CBI, weighed against reserves, banking reforms, and market stability. There's no credible official signal right now of a dramatic change, just the existing peg and incremental reforms. Source: IMF. Revaluation versus redenomination. What's the difference? 1. Revaluation RV means the currency's value rises compared to the dollar or other currencies. Example: if today 1 USD equals 1,300 dinars, after a revaluation it could be 1 USD equals 1,000 dinars. This makes the dinar stronger. Rare and usually small steps because it affects exports, imports, and government reserves. 2. Redenomination, or deleting zeros, means changing the face value of the money, not its real worth. Example: 1,000 dinars today would become 1 new dinar tomorrow. 3 zeros dropped. Prices and salaries adjust at the same time, so no one gets richer or poorer overnight. Done to simplify accounting and transactions, not to increase wealth. Key point: a revaluation makes the dinar truly stronger, but governments rarely do it suddenly. A redenomination only changes the numbers on the bills, not the currency's actual buying power. Many rumors confuse these two ideas. That's why it's important to check only official announcements from the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, or IMF. ChatGPT summarized, "Today, let's clear up a common confusion about Iraq's currency. A revaluation makes the dinar stronger against the US dollar. For example, 1 USD moving from 1,300 to 1,000 dinars. A redenomination, on the other hand, simply deletes zeros. 1,000 dinars today becomes 1 new dinar, but your wealth doesn't increase. The key point, a revaluation raises the value, while a redenomination just changes the numbers. Right now, Iraq says they have no plans to devalue. Their focus is on stability, reforms, and the upcoming elections. Stay tuned.
Quick tip. A revaluation makes the dinar stronger against the US dollar. A redenomination just cuts zeros without raising value. Iraq confirms no plans to devalue. Their focus is stability and reforms. Currency updates, August 19, 2025. Iraq, Iraqi dinar, IQD. The Iraqi dinar remains stable at around 1,309.55 dinars per US dollar. That's based on the most recent data, showing just a minor 0.03% strengthening on August 18th. There's still no official announcement of a currency revaluation, so for now it's steady, no change. Vietnam, Vietnamese dong, VND. The dong holds steady at approximately 26,299.5 per US dollar as of August 19th. This reflects a slight 0.53% weakening over the past month and a roughly 5.6% decline since the start of the year. Analysts say the persistently strong US dollar will continue to put pressure on the dong throughout 2025. Zimbabwe, ZiG, Zimbabwe gold. Zimbabwe's gold-backed currency, the ZiG, is trading at about 26.78 ZiG per US dollar as of mid-August. That's a slight uptick from earlier, but still indicates ongoing weakness. The Reserve Bank previously devalued it by over 40%, from 13.56 ZiG per dollar to 24.4 ZiG per dollar. Markets now show it trading even weaker. IQD, around 1309 per USD, no revaluation announced. VND, around 26,000 per USD, weakening trend continues under US dollar pressure. ZiG, around 26.8 per USD, recent devaluation and ongoing instability persist.
Life is for living. Open the windows, dance in the kitchen as you cook. Play that music loud. Turn off the news. Check in with someone you love. Get some fresh air. Watch the beautiful show nature is putting on for us right now. Leave the negative online discussions behind. Unfollow the chaos. Feel alive again. Written by S.C. Lurie. Power of Words. In light you remember. In love you return. In stillness you are home.